It only takes one drop of water to cause a ripple effect. A lone domino can cause a line of many to topple over, and within the world's human populace, it only takes 1% of our DNA to persuade our skin to look a certain way.
Race is
human.
Race is your ethnicity.
Yeah, what she said.
Race. There's you can be white, you can be black, you can be Chinese, you can be Japanese, you can be all types of different races. There's so many races out there, I can't even know, but I gotta go. Peace out.
Your racial background.
Your racial background?
What is that?
Do you want me to define ethnicity?
Yeah.
Okay.
Race can be defined as an invisible barrier that people made up to describe a certain group of people based on their physical appearances, their cultural uniqueness behind them, and their demographics, like where are they on Earth.
Okay.
Some examples.
That will have to be Minnesota.
Some examples. Brown, white, or black.
Oh, that?
Okay. I'm brown.
I'm black.
I'm mixed.
Once you are born on this earth, there is only one way to live 2 lives. You can build a big machine, clone yourself, and pretend you have a twin. You could go back in time to the 20th century, dance amongst kings who wear gold on their heads and queens who eat cake. You could change your identity, move to a new state where no one knows your name, change your hair, change your clothes, become a new person. But the easiest way to live 2 lives is to be born biracial.
What is racism?
Racism is when people treat you badly because of the color of your skin or how you are.
Racism is like being mean to people because of their color.
Yeah, that is the seclusion or the, I don't know how to put this. Almost like the putting down of a race or ethnicity.
Yet over time, the minds of the few have moved the minds of the many, making that 1% a fissure splitting underneath the tree of humanity. Our roots clipped as though they were split ends had us believing in slavery. But the mystery isn't within the miseries of the past. Rather, it's the complacency that our society has been accepting as novel. And it's nothing more than just a hollow mask.
Seen racism happen. It's hard for me to say if racism has happened to me because that's a kind of social debate on whether racism can happen to white people, and that is a great debate. But I guess I personally wouldn't have said I've experienced racism. Just because of that debate. I think I've experienced stereotypes and stuff.
I've seen racism with my mom. I was walking her out of the building, and I was walking her out because she needed to talk to her boss. A cop was outside our house and stopped her and said, "You look like someone who would have a warrant out." He kept us there for a while trying to look up my mom's name. I had to run upstairs and go get her ID. We were so unplanned for this, and it was really cold, and he just kept us outside until he could find out that if she actually had a warrant. So he did not know, actually.
I'm just kidding. But we were in Walmart one day, and this lady, she told my mom to like get out the way, and it was like really rude. And then my mom was like, "No, you can wait until I'm finished," because she was so rude about it. And the lady like went around my mom and like stormed off, and she was like, "You people," which is rough.
Mm-hmm.
I was like low-key shocked because that happened here in Rochester, and I didn't think that could happen here.
We have crammed this space into the fissure to transform it into a pit, where our roots no longer sit tapped into the minerals of compassion, where we have left ourselves with a stark gap in our wages, and for some, education is barely in the pages. And if it does happen to be, we often see that it doesn't include a unified sense of we. This 1% has made us culturally divided, but not between torches and picket fences, but by preferences and tension within sentences.
Are there things you are more aware of because of your race?
Yes. Yes.
Give me an example.
Racism.
Because of my race, I am very aware that I split my life between being Laotian and American, because when you're in one life or the other, you realize I don't fit as much as the people who are in it. Being Laotian, I can't speak Laotian. I
I
can't.
speak Ojibwe, and my tribe is Ojibwe.
Yes.
Like not many people know about our past. Not many people, and many people are forgetting the language, and I know very little of the language.
The differences between comfortable and uncomfortable lives, experiences and how they shape you. One reason as to why I think that I see things differently because of my race is because my mother came from a different country. So I also have her viewpoint, and I get to see what it's like based on how I would be able to live in Africa.
When you are born biracial, you are born the product of two lives who were never meant to intertwine together. You are the product of a makeshift science experiment gone wrong. You are different, but not enough. Not black enough, not Asian enough, not Hispanic enough. You are not enough to fit into this cookie-cutter society we live in, where people who look like they've played hide and seek with the sun their whole lives will do better than you in everything.
Stereotype is when people say certain people do stuff.
I think a stereotype would be a label that is put on a specific race, gender, ethnicity, nationality based on previous experiences that are generalized. They can be negative.
Have you ever been judged or looked at differently because of your race?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. No.
Yes.
Just because I'm weird.
Yes, very much so.
All you can do is raise a white flag and stand next to the equally white people, and hopefully none of you will get into a race where you are lined up side by side, and while their paths are easy and straightforward, yours is rocky and full of hills that you cannot go over, but you still have to go. Because if they shoot the gun at you instead of up in the air, you will no longer be able to run. When you are born biracial, you are a glow stick that is split in half that would never be put back together again. The insides dripping onto the floor, and everyone watches them spill out like dark matter because their insides are exactly the same. Just because of the color of your skin doesn't mean you should have a bigger wallet. Doesn't mean you should change your hair or change your clothes. It doesn't mean you should change who you are. Because seeing two cultures and trying to split yourself into two of them isn't healthy. Trying to fit yourself into a puzzle piece that was never meant to be there won't work. Because you already put into a different puzzle piece from the very beginning without a choice. Whoever said it was okay was wrong, because it isn't okay.
It's not okay. And then if I ever hear a racist comment, I would tell them not to do that. I would start, if I had, like, I was able to, I would start making videos of how it feels.
If you were tasked with solving a current issue regarding race, where would you start?
Kids. Slavery. Kids. It's still around and it shouldn't be. I would start at kids, work way up to older people. Schools. Work. Yeah, work. Because that's like messing with people's money.
I would say politics for sure right away. Too many of our strong leaders are okay with the fact that their followers can blatantly say racist things to people like Alexia Ocasio-Cortez and stuff like that, or we have a Minnesota representative that people attack because she's of Muslim background, and I think that that's not okay. You have political leaders that are supposed to help run your country, and people are way too okay with the racial comments that come from their parties. So that's probably a good area to start, and I think that we're already on our way because of the fact that we have more people of color entering the political system and are working really hard to fight stuff like that.
Honestly, maybe America. Because everybody hears about what happens here, you know? And if we were to solve such a big problem, such as racism, if there was a big problem, I would start here. America is also considered the melting pot, so it has many different races, ethnicities, nationalities, all combined into one. So I would start here.
We have people who don't know how to be proud of their heritage because others looked at it like baggage. Meanwhile, if your race has the grace to come from two places, the struggling case is, if you're too much and not enough at the same time, how can you make yourself enough to call somewhere home? And what's the point of being an American if that American can't be all that they are?
In 2060, almost 40 years from now, the number of biracial, as in kids who look like you, Americans will be 3 times larger than it is now. What do you think of that? Do you think that is a good thing, or?
I don't have words. I just get a lot of words. Nothing happened.
Can you tell me why you think that's a good thing?
Because it shows that, like,
More people
because less racism.
accepting
Less racism.
that
Because
being with another race is okay.
Do beauty standards include everyone?
No.
Why?
In a lot of magazines, you usually see the hourglass, extremely skinny figures, unrealistic images. Body types, you usually only see 2 or 3. It can be athletic, again, hourglass, just skinny, thin. You never really see much diversity when it comes to race or ethnicity in magazines.
How do you define beauty?
By personality. Cause like if you got an attitude, that's not cute. That's like, that just make me like not like you at all. Like everybody's beautiful. It's like the way you act towards people make them feel a certain.
It's hard to say. Like with me, I don't care anyone. It's just as long as the personality is okay. Like, see, I do have friends that aren't as good, but I do also try to pick out the friends or people that have a nice personality, that are nice inside. It's not about looks. And for me, it really doesn't matter, because as long as I have a friend, because maybe that person has a cool talent that nobody else can do. Like, they sing really good, or they're really, really nice.
Who in your life would you define as beautiful?
I'm gonna bite your thumb.
What about you, Briella? Who would you define in your life as beautiful?
Not me. Friends and family.
Can I name more than one person?
Yes.
Okay. All of my friends, my peers,
My mother.
the staff at Boys and Girls Club, my foster parent, my sister, my mom in some ways.
Is everybody an option? Then yeah, everybody. Nobody's ugly to me. Nobody's really ugly.
Our skin is not a scar to subtract beauty from, yet we try to redact the color to find the light, but there isn't only one color that shines. And because of 1%, even our names have become a game of comfort versus effort. Because of 1%, our minds have been bent into believing that our bodies are the keys to our understanding our capabilities. Phrases enter our speech like, you talk so nice for a black girl, and you've got rhythm for a white boy, and sorry, I just don't date Asians enter our speech and have been etched into our bark on more than just one occasion. But isn't a gift more than just its packaging?
Don't judge a book by its cover.
Isn't a tree more than its exterior?
Probably be niece. Someone I could rely on and She's confide in mean
if I
a
needed
lot.
But also, like,
But she has a
she's not
short
gonna
temper.
baby me. Like, oh, it's okay.
Aren't we more than just 1%?
I think I'm just Tanisha. That's it. A teenager, or in general, speaking generally, a human being.
I'm a human like anyone else on this earth. I eat, I sleep, I walk, I talk the same way as everyone else. I'm a person just pursuing my journey of happiness with full-fledged passion, ambition, chasing the things I love while sharing that same energy to everyone else.
And isn't there more to being human?
I'm sitting. Duh.